This is The Scoop for Monday.
I'm Josh Holton with the WMNF News headlines. Recovering from last year's hurricane season and the need for affordable housing are some of St. Petersburg's most pressing issues. WMNF's Noah Vinsky reports on 3 bills passed during the Florida legislative session that directly address those concerns.
The 3 bills, Senate Bills 462, 1730, and 180, were all priorities for St. Petersburg this year. SB 462 makes creating lakes by speeding in flooded areas punishable by a traffic citation. The Yes in God's Backyard provision passed as a part of SB 1730. It allows churches to use their property for affordable housing regardless of zoning. It's a win for Mayor Ken Welch, who first pushed for it last year. And as part of SB 180, the legislature passed the crane safety during emergencies provision. It was prompted after heavy winds from Hurricane Milton toppled a crane into a residential building in downtown St. Petersburg. It establishes a set of practices for crane operators before and during storms. David Thompson is St. Petersburg's Director of Government Affairs.
So it was really important for the mayor and our city council, as part of our legislative agenda, to tackle some of the most pressing issues from our community, which are, safety year-round and affordable housing.
The bills are now headed to the desk of Governor Ron DeSantis to be signed into law. Noah Vinsky, WMNF News.
Clearwater workers are claiming that a coworker has been fired for leading the charge for unionizing. Orlando Weekly reporter McKenna Schuler reported on the issue, starting with a march last month against the firing. The worker, Raven Schwartz, has been fired for tardiness, but co-workers say it was for her lead role in union activity. It's illegal to retaliate against a worker for union activity, but Orlando Weekly reporter McKenna Schuler says this isn't the first time Starbucks union members say they have faced retaliation.
So there's been a lot of tension between the union and Starbucks over the course of this multi-year organizing campaign. So the organizing drive at Starbucks broadly launched back in 2021, and it was this really worker-led grassroots effort that caught the attention of a lot of people, especially with the company being Starbucks, this very well-known company, and also just seeing an organizing drive in an industry that is typically considered very difficult to organize just because of all these logistical barriers. And so over the course of the past few years, there have been hundreds, I've heard even thousands of allegations of unfair labor practices levied against Starbucks. And unfair labor practices are alleged violations of federal labor law. And so over the course of the past few years, since 2021, the union told me that they allege that more than 300 Starbucks workers across the country at different stores have been allegedly fired in retaliation for their union activity. But there have been other allegations, too, in terms of retaliatory acts against workers who are unionizing at Starbucks.
That's Orlando Weekly reporter McKenna Schuler speaking about a solidarity march for a Clearwater Starbucks worker who was fired after organizing for a union. In Schuler's article, first published in Creative Loafing, Starbucks says no employee has been or will be disciplined or separated for supporting, organizing, or otherwise engaging in lawful union activity. Research reveals the meat and dairy industry has obscured livestock's climate impact through disinformation, lobbying, and blocking policies that promote dietary changes. The pattern is reflected in Florida, which ranks 9th in the U.S. beef cattle production industry. Tramel Gomes reports.
Jennifer Jacquet, a professor of environmental science and policy at the University of Miami, has been researching the similarities between the tactics of the fossil fuel and animal agriculture industries. One key finding from her work is that both industries have led long-standing campaigns to mislead the public about the environmental impact of their products.
They constantly downplay the role of cows in climate change. And to me, that's a form of disinformation. They straight up lie about the numbers, or they sort of remix them so that they misrepresent the role of cows in climate change.
Jacquet's research also highlights how trade associations like the National Cattlemen's Beef Association have influenced public opinion and policy. The association has previously dismissed similar research as misleading, while major meat companies like Tyson have defended their sustainability programs. This story was produced with original reporting from Nina El Kadi for Sentient. This is Tramel Gomes for Florida News Connection.
Storms today with highs around 90. Clouds and possible storms tonight with overnight lows in the lower 70s. Partly cloudy tomorrow with possible afternoon storms and highs in the upper 80s. I'm Josh Holton with the WMNF News headlines.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.